you slide over for me? Won't you slide over for me?
What's going on? This is Evan Jaffe. I just wanted to give you a quick basic tutorial on how to cook tuna with pasta in garlic and oil during the pandemic. All right now we got some chickpea pasta. I threw it into some boiling water. I added some salt before I boiled the water. And now I just mixing it up. You see, it's the wheels. I don't know if you can see, I got the rotelli. That's what I like. Some of those wheels. Let that shit boil. I personally like a ton of garlic, but for this particular dish, I'm gonna use one whole garlic. I don't know if you can see that right there, but that ain't good garlic. Throw that out, that's old. I don't want that part. You're left with a bunch of cloves of garlic. In order to get rid of the skin, a lot of people do it a lot of different ways. I take a big ass heavy cutting board and I put it on top of another cutting board right here. I got my garlic laid out. Make your garlic flat. Sometimes I go hard. I just put them all on there, right? So put it down on the thing. I use this thing on top, and I literally just smash that shit. Bang, bang that, mash that son of a bitch, and then I give it a pop, just for good measure. Right? Now what that does, by forcing it to spread open, what you've essentially done is split your garlic already, so it's a lot easier to peel. Now, I'm over here peeling my garlic. Piece of cake, look at that. Look at how easy that was. Boom, garlic, done. That's a hell of a lot easier than sitting there trying to separate. I checked the bottom just to make sure I didn't lose any pieces because garlic is valuable. Now, that's what you do. Number two, you see how easy that was? It was a piece of cake, garlic, separated, boom. You know, if you sit, just to show you the difference, right? Not smashed, right? Look at how hard it is to fucking separate this from this. I gotta sit here and dick around and putz around with this fucking thing like this. So instead of doing that, I put it on here and I bang the shit and then it'll pop right out and I smash that son of a bitch. Throw it into your press or you chop it up. Now a press is super easy to use. I'll just give you the quick demo on the press. You throw it in, the clove, right? You could even throw 2 cloves in, it makes no difference, right? Take this green piece off. Like I said, these parts you don't want to eat, just grab those. They called something, I don't know, I'll probably figure it out later. But whatever the hell they're called, we don't want them. Once we get it in our garlic press, like so, what do you think you do? You press that fucking thing. Now, I put a plate nearby, okay? Squeeze, squeeze, and look at that. Look at that. Look at that. I just shot some out of the cannon a little bit. But if I did it a little more gently, a little more slowly, it wouldn't have done that. Okay? Now, if I had a knife, I would just take it and just cut the end off. But instead, I use a piece of garlic because it's the pandemic. I ain't got no knife right next to me. I'm actually kidding. I got a knife right next to me. But anyway, so you put another one in there. Now look, bada bing, bada boom. Just give it a nice little squeeze. Okay? Get your forearm workout in. Got my front pan. I'm going to make that hot. I'm going to wait till it gets hot before I add the oil to it just because I don't want it to smoke. That's not what I want. When you can't order food, you can't go out, you might as well get good at cooking. Olive oil in the pan. Spread that sucker around, okay? Now once you know your olive oil is hot, and you know that because you smell it too, you start to smell some of that good oil. You take this, okay, your garlic. Get your garlic going. One of the best ways to kill the flavor of something like tuna is put freaking garlic in it. Make sure it stays moving around, looks something like this. Moving it around will keep it from burning. Use the spatula or something to keep it moving around like so. And if you see you start to brown really super quick, lower your flame a little bit. You know, I just lowered from up here to from medium to between medium and low, just to get a little control back onto my pan. because the key is to stay in control. Don't let it cook you. You know, once you start to see this thing getting brown, that's nice. If it gets black, you're screwed. Now what I'm gonna do is add some tuna to this thing. Now some people, they like to literally take the tuna, strain it first or whatever. I don't even mess with that. I just take my tuna, I open the can up, and then I just plop that son of a bitch into the plate. Use all the juices, the water, everything. And this is solid white albacore. Any kind of tuna will do. Starfish, star-kissed, whatever they call it. I'm gonna use 2 cans because I'm a big protein guy. Put it into the pan, get it going on kind of a medium to low heat. That's what you're looking at here. Garlic and tuna together. Kind of all just being goodness in that pan. And I got my pasta, which I took out of the boiling pot. And I'm gonna dump that in there once the garlic looks like it's getting to the point of being done. I mix it all together in the pan with the garlic, oil, and tuna. Always use extra virgin olive oil. If it ain't sizzling in the pan, it ain't hot enough. If it's sizzling too hard, your garlic's gonna turn black or brown and burn your garlic. That's the worst thing you could do. Everything will then taste like burnt garlic. Not trying to cook this too much. You're trying to just cook it, heat it up a little bit, but do not burn this son of a bitch. You keep this thing cooking so that it's all sizzling, and then you're gonna have a delicious meal. Bada bing. This to me is about a low heat on most stoves, but maybe a little higher than a low heat, between a low to a medium heat. Looking good. You see how the garlic is starting to be at one with the tuna pretty much? You don't really can't tell it. You see how it's like liquefying right there when you get close to it? You can see the pieces kind of all pulling in a little bit of oil. Once you're at that stage, you dump that pasta in. If you need to, take a little bit of oil and just hook it up with a little bit of oil. That's all you need, a little bit. That's it. The goal here is just to mix up everything in the pan with your pasta. That's all. What you don't want is to drown the pasta in the oil. That's not what you want. You should start to notice that all your garlic is now all mixed in with your pasta, where you don't see piles of garlic anymore and piles of pasta. It should all just be one. It's looking pretty good to me. I'm about to pull it. Everything's got a little texture, a little coating to it, looks a little moist. That's what you want. You don't want dry pasta. You want this whole thing to have a little bit of moisture to it. The oil's giving you that moisture. Use amounts that I gave you. 3/4 of a box of pasta, 1 full clove of garlic, 2 little cans of tuna, you know, and a little bit of oil. This is about good for 2 people, maybe 2.5, 3 people, depending on how much everybody eats. This is a pandemic, so you're ready to plate it. That's what it looks like when you're done. Pepper to bring out the flavor a little bit. Nothing like a little pepper to bring out some flavor. I'm not really a salt guy, but the pepper is where it's at. Thank you for watching Frying Pandemic. It's been a pleasure. Catch you later. Hopefully not during the pandemic.